This video is for the 3 questions under the heading 7.5C, solve mathematical and real-world problems involving similar shape and scale drawings. Let's look at question number 1 to see what it is asking us to find. In the scale used on the blueprint, 1/4 inch represents 2 feet. On the blueprint, what is the length of a room with an actual length of 20 feet? Okay, so we're going to annotate this question because there's some information in here that I need to make sense of. The first thing is the scale. The scale used is 1/4 inch represents 2 feet. Then it says that on the blueprint, we're looking for the length of a room with an actual length of 20 feet. Okay, so to solve this, you have to use the scale. And our scale said 1/4 inch is equal to 2 feet. Now, you have options here. You can use the decimal representation of 1/4 of an inch, which would be 25 hundredths, is equal to 2 feet. So when you set up your proportion, we're comparing inches to feet. You would set up the first ratio, which is 25 hundredths of an inch, is equal to 2 feet. I have an actual length of 20 feet. It would go under the 20. And I'm looking for what would the blueprint be. And so this is your proportion that you would multiply by the 2 and divide by the 3rd. Now, since the scale is in a fraction, what I would like for you to try is to take the fraction to a whole number. And so since 1/4 of an inch is 2 feet, then 1 inch is 8 feet. I know that there are 4 of these, 4 1/4ths in one whole, so I would multiply the 2 times 4, and that would give me my 8 feet. This is the scale that would be easier to work with. So again, you are setting up a proportion. Your first ratio is 1 inch is equal to 8 feet. How many inches is 20 feet? Okay, so there is your cross multiply by the 2, and divide by the 3rd model. So 20 times 1 is 20. So I'm going to divide 20 by 8. 8 does not go into 2. 8 goes into 20 2 times. When I multiply 8 times 2, it gives me 16. When I subtract, I get 4. I'm going to put in a decimal in my dividend and in my quotient, and I'm going to add a 0. Bring that 0 down. 8 goes into 45 times, and you will see that it will terminate. My division process is finished. So my quotient is 2.5 inches. That's what I'm looking for in my answer choices. I see that 2.5 inches is also 2.5 inches, and this is the representation that is in my answer choices. So your answer was D, 2.5 inches. If you have any questions with this, please see me. Question number 2 states, Jessica has a rectangular picture. The picture is similar to a rectangle that measures 4 inches by 6 inches. What could be the dimensions of Jessica's picture? Again, let's annotate for information. Okay, my picture is similar. Very important information. It measures 4 by 6 inches. And we're looking for what could be the dimensions of the new picture. Okay, you have to remember that similar shapes are shapes that are, the ratios between them are the same. And so if I have one picture that is a 4 by 6, I am looking for an equivalent fraction, an equal ratio to this 4/6. Now I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can solve this. One would be to simplify this fraction to see if my new fraction would be one of the dimensions listed. So I know 4/6 simplifies to 2/3, and so my new dimensions could be 2 inches by 3 inches. When you look at your answer choices, you're going to see that that answer is given. Now, you have another way that you can solve these, and that is by setting them up equal to each other. The answer choices equal to your original ratio. 4/6 is equal to 8/10, and then scale to see if they are equal. I know that 4 times 2 is equal to 8, but 6 times 2 does not equal 10. So this could not be my answer choice. I'm going to come over here and go 4/6 is equal to 2/3. When I scale this way, I know that 2 times 2 is equal to 4, and 3 times 2 is equal to 6. Remember, what you do to the numerator, you have to do to the denominator when you are checking for similar ratios or equal ratios in similar figures. So this one, as you can see, is a true equivalency, and so again my answer would be 2 inches by 3 inches. Both ways work, and sometimes you have to use both to solve a problem. If you have any questions with this one, please see me. Okay, question number 3. It says the two triangular prisms shown are similar. What is the value of x? Okay, again, I have a similar figure, so that means that the ratios are going to be equal. I am missing a measure, so I have a missing side. So that means that I need to make a decision. Am I going to set up my ratios between the shapes or within the shapes? So you have to go back and think about what those two words mean. For this one, I am going to set it up within the shapes. I'm going to be using this. So that means that my first ratio, I'm going to go here at the bottom of the triangle over the long side of the triangle for my first ratio. So 2.5 is over 11.2. There's my first ratio, and this one is written within the shape. Now when you come to the second side, or the bigger triangle, you have to follow the same order. So I started with the base of the triangle over the long side of the triangle, and so that is my x. So there you have your proportion set up. Now when you're at this stage, you can either multiply by the 2 and divide by the third, or you can look for a relationship between the two. I'm going to go with a relationship between the two. I know that 2.5, there are 4 of these in 10. You can think about it like money. 2.5 could be like $2.50. I know that there are 4 $2.50 in $10. Okay, so since I am multiplying the numerator by 4, I can multiply the denominator by 4 to get my answer. So I'm going to take 11.2. I'm going to multiply by 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. I have 1 decimal place, so that means I'm going to move my decimal 1 place to the left. And so my answer that I need to bubble is 44 8/10. Please be careful with your bubbling. Here is the decimal in the grid, and so 44 would be whole numbers. The 8/10 is 1 decimal place after the decimal, and so this would be a correct way to bubble this question. If you have any questions with any of these 3 problems, please see me.